Greetings, everybody. Today Jamaica celebrates 66 years of independence, and I want to talk about the power and the creativity of the Jamaican people. In 1914, our first national hero, the Right Excellent Marcus Mosiah Garvey, started an organization. And he could not do very much here in Jamaica. He was inspired to go to the United States. And he presented what was at the time a mustard seed of an idea to all black people. It is not so different from the idea that Jesus said, "Repent, for the kingdom of heaven is at hand." The idea that Marcus Garvey presented is that black people in the United States and in the Western world should not go to someone else asking for a place at their table. He said to us that instead we should separate and we should build for ourselves. We should create our own communities, our own businesses. And he developed a program that no one else before him developed, a program dealing with all 9 areas of human activity. And Dr. Frances Cresswell Singer, our beautiful sister, gave us the 9 areas in the ISIS papers. So we have politics and religion and the military, and you have education, and you have family, all the 9 units that human beings engage in. It was Garvey who first presented a comprehensive plan on how we should go about setting up systems for all 9 areas. And at the time, his idea, similarly to the way that many did not understand the idea that Jesus presented, many did not understand the idea that Marcus Garvey presented. But today, we see that our people are waking up like never before. The black man and woman in the United States of America are inspired to separate and do for self. And there is a secret that Garvey used to create his organization with over 10 million supporters worldwide. And that secret is that whenever he set up a division of his organization, he had a male president and he also had a female president. Garvey knew that in order for us to move forward as a people, it was very important that the woman be placed in a position of leadership beside the man. Garvey understand that the idea that a woman is in any way less than a man, the idea that a woman cannot lead, would not create for us, in a sense, a new reality. And as our people are waking up today, you see that the woman is playing a role in speaking out against the corruption and the injustice that is taking place in the society. Women are sometimes even more vocal and more forthright, and women are going to play a major role as we move forward and as we create what John saw in the book of Revelation, a new heaven and a new earth. There was a song that a brother, Sir Mix-a-Lot, released in 1992. He said, "I like big butts and I cannot lie." And that song ended his career. But today, the women of the world, they are now engaging in dangerous surgery to have the body of the black woman. We have certainly come a very far way. And what is so special about the body of the black woman, indeed the most beautiful body on the planet Earth? Is it that our bodies are just to be used to, sell alcohol and sell cigarettes, and our sisters, they are busy dancing and twerking, but is there more to the body of the black woman than just to be a pleasure for the eyes of men? When the scientists of this world do their travels and their research, and a lot is now being done in terms of the collection of DNA and information about how human beings have traveled all over the earth and where we originated. When the scientists of this world want to find out about the origin of all humanity, they find that they end up in Africa, and they tell us that all human beings started from the black woman. The body of the black woman, in it contains genetic material that has given birth to all the human beings on the planet Earth. So it is no coincidence that when we are now waking up, that we are paying homage to the body of the black woman. It is indeed a sign and a recognition that we all came from the body, the genetics of a black woman. And when you look, even among us as a people, we as black women, the black-skinned woman, unfortunately, in many ways, is seen as the lowest. Even by our men. Our men do not pay the respect that is due to the black-skinned woman. But the scripture says that that which was once the bottom will be made the top. That which was once the tail will be made the head. And so our women are now waking up to their true beauty. They are waking up to their power. They are accepting themselves more and more with their natural hairstyle. And our women are forging ahead like never before. And I want to engage us, to support our women. I want to engage our men, to say to our men, especially here in Jamaica, my brothers, it is time to wake up and to respect the black woman. Every man on the face of planet Earth was cradled for 9 months in the womb of the black woman. Her body, her blood, her spirit fed you, and it clothed you and formed you. And you should not, my brothers, be disrespecting our women. It is time that the Jamaican man take to himself one woman and build something with that one woman. My brothers, you can no longer go around creating 3 and 4 and 5 baby mothers. This is not something honorable. You take to yourself a woman, and some of you stand in front of the community and you say to everyone, this is my wife. And that woman, she loves you, she comforts you, she brings out a better person in you. And what is her reward? You go out and you cheat and you lie. You take the money that you should take home to that woman, and you go to the massage parlor and you chase after something that she is willing to give you. My brothers, you must begin to do better by the Jamaican woman. You must stay at home. You must go home to your woman. You must find ways to work out your problems with your woman. The massage parlor and the rum bar is not the place to go when you have a disagreement with your woman. I know a brother. Many years ago, he was complaining that his woman would not cook for him on a Sunday. His woman would not do the things that a wife should do for him. And I know what was happening, and I said to this brother, you know, brother, women do not like it when you cheat on them. And he refused to take responsibility for his actions. In fact, he became very upset. He said, what is wrong with sleeping with other women? He didn't understand that his wife would not be the woman she used to be, because she knows that he is being deceitful. She knows he is not investing in their family, and the money that he should be taking home to her to support her family and to build a business, build something with her, that he was spending that money at the massage parlor. He was creating other children outside of his marriage. Women are not going to support you in this, my brother. You have to be faithful to your women. The Jamaican woman loves you, and no woman who has a good man at home will refuse to cook him a meal on Sunday. I mean, Jamaicans are cooking rice and peas and chicken every Sunday. But when you are unfaithful to your woman, you cannot expect the love and support from that woman that she would otherwise give you. That sister, she gave that man good time, and she put herself together, and she took out a loan on their house, and she got herself a visa, and she left that man. And he could not pay all the bills that he was left with, and he eventually lost that house. There's another brother I know who had a business, and he started to sleep with the young girls who he taught, because he was running a school. And he had a beautiful wife at home to go home to, and he began to sleep with the students at his school, began to take them to vacations on the North Coast, and he too ended up losing his home. My brothers, when God gives you a blessing of a good woman in your life, I would suggest to you that you be faithful to that woman. I would suggest to you that you go home to your woman and you do your best to build something with that woman. Because if you are good to your woman, your blessing will have no end. But if, on the other hand, you continue to be deceitful, your woman can make your life a living hell. You must be faithful, my brothers. Begin to respect the woman. Begin to treat the woman as your equal. When God created his image, he created that image male and female. And it is so sad that recently we had a pastor here in Jamaica preaching so much hatred against the woman. He was preaching that if a woman was wearing weave, and if she was wearing red lipstick, and if she was wearing fingernails, false fingernails, he was saying that the woman was a whore and a prostitute. And I found it even more incredible that Jamaican women sit in congregations and would allow a man to tell them to hate their sister, to judge their sister in this way, and to agree that you could look at a woman and say that this woman is a whore and a prostitute by the way she dresses. Do you know that there are still cultures, black people on this planet, who the women will walk around half naked, and it is only when those women get married that they cover their breasts, and not one man in that culture would rape any of those women? We have to look at why do men, after we have been through so much as a people and are still suffering much discrimination as a people, when we live in a world where right here in Jamaica, a black-skinned Jamaican cannot go on a beach, a black-skinned Jamaican cannot work in certain places, and we as a people are living in a world where people will look at you as a black-skinned person or even a black person and say, that person is a criminal. I don't trust that person because of the color of their skin. And it is so shameful to know that a man would use the Bible and would look at a woman and say, that woman is a prostitute and a whore because of the way she dresses. My brothers, that will not move us into the future. That will not create the kingdom of heaven here on earth. When they brought a woman before Jesus, they said, we caught this woman in the very act of adultery. And Jesus would not condemn that woman. Jesus would not even, let anyone know. He was so quiet about what that woman had done. And he said to that sister, sister, you go about your business and you don't do it again. When he saw the woman by the well, he knew who the woman was. He could tell her about her sleeping with lots of men, and he told her that the very man that you are living with now is not your husband. But Jesus went to that woman and he said, could you draw me some water? He befriended the sister. He found a way to speak to that sister in a respectful way about her behavior. He never disrespected or belittled the sister. It is not the way of God to disrespect women. And women, my sisters, do not sit in congregations where men disrespect women. Do not sit and allow men to use the Bible and to call women names and to disrespect. This will not get us into the future. This is not good. We cannot not use this kind of attitude and hatred and the marginalization of our women to create nationhood and to create businesses and organizations that will move us forward as a people, my brothers and sisters. This kind of thing must stop. I remember, I went to a wake. A brother had died earlier in the year. And there was a sister. She wasn't dressed in too much clothes. And we went to the funeral, and the sister wasn't dressed very well for a funeral either. But somebody mentioned the way she was dressed to me, and I said, well, let us see. And after the funeral, I remember somebody saying to me that that sister used to be molested by her stepfather. And the person said to me, that is why you see her dress the way she dresses. You don't know, my brothers, you don't know the things that women go through. You have no understanding of what it means to be a woman, and you should not judge women. If you see a woman in the world, and women, sometimes you get up and you don't feel as good about yourself, and you will put on a lot of makeup, and you might put on a lot of things. Sometimes our sisters are covering up a lot of pain, and you don't understand this, and you should not see the woman and judge the woman. I remember at 13 years old, a man tried to rape me. I was in his house. He was a friend of the family. I trusted him, and he tried to rape me. And I fought for my life, and my fingernails scratched his face, and so he became upset, and he told me to leave the house. And I remember telling a very good friend of mine, somebody who I considered at the time to be my best friend. It was a man, and he didn't react the way that I thought somebody who would react. And he became upset with me. And I remember he telling me that he thinks that if I was not a virgin, I would have willingly slept with this man. And I felt so hurt. And I told no one else. People who knew that man, people who were members of my family, who knew that man, I told no one that this man had tried to rape me. Because in our pain and suffering, the woman, and especially the black woman, finds no validation. She finds no understanding, and sometimes it is so painful to know that that understanding does not come from even your own sisters. Even women will often judge other women when they find out what they are going through. We mustn't do this anymore to ourselves. We must not judge each other in this way anymore, my brothers and sisters. The woman is waking up just like the man, and we must embrace each other as family. We must work together. We must move forward. I know that 20 years ago, prostitution was not as rampant as it is today in the Jamaican society. You could not pick up a newspaper 20 years ago in Jamaica and see a woman selling her body, advertising her wares. And many of our sisters are using that money from prostitution to do something worthwhile for themselves. Many of them are putting themselves through colleges and universities. The woman is trying her best with what she has been dealt by the society. Our women are trying to pull themselves up, and they are trying to empower themselves. And our government is doing very little for our women. Our government is not supporting our women as they should. When you go downtown Kingston and you see others, the Chinese come in, they set up businesses, they do very well for themselves, they get tax breaks, and in 5-10 years a wholesaler will build himself a plaza, he will open up a supermarket. They are able to do so well for themselves. But when the Jamaican woman goes downtown and she sets something out and she tries to do for herself, the police come and they take away her merchandise and they charge her a lot of money. If you go to Halfway Tree and you look at the Nelson Mandela Park in Halfway Tree, you will see stalls that were given to the Jamaican people by the cell phone company. But before those stalls were given to the Jamaican people would go to that exact location in Halfway Tree and they would try to do business. They would set up their makeshift stalls and they would try to do something for themselves, and the police would come and they would chase away our people and they would take away their merchandise. And it was so shameful to see Jamaicans hard at work trying to do something to help themselves, running away from the police. But in that same location, the cell phone company donated stalls and they put their names big and bold on those stalls, and there is not one Jamaican flag on those stalls, and they are given free advertisements for their charity to the Jamaican people. Why is it so hard that we as a people, 66 years of independence, we could not sit and find a solution for the vending problem in our country? We cannot find the love in ourselves that we would give a break to the Jamaican people the same way we give a break to the Chinese who come in, to the Indians who come in, the same way when a business goes and lists on the Jamaica Stock Exchange, they get a 4-year tax break. Why is it so difficult for our government to sit and find a solution for the vending problem, to give stalls, build stalls and lease the stalls out to the Jamaican people? In the same way that the cell phone company has their name written all over the stalls, the Jamaican people could use the stalls to advertise businesses and to receive some form of income. We cannot find a solution because there is no genuine intent to help our people and to lift our people up, but there is an intent to help others, because others come in and they organize themselves, and when an election is called, they slip some money to the political parties. So they get a tax break, they get help, they get assistance. You know, one member of the private sector organization, some time ago, the government wanted to tax sugar, And this Chinese man said, if you tax sugar, I will close down my business and I will take my business to Trinidad and Tobago and I will send back the merchandise to Jamaica. And you know, brother, this man has made a lot of money from importing milk powder into Jamaica, and he has made quite a fortune from selling milk powder to the Jamaican people. He now has a business where he lends money. He charges 1% a week, 52% for the year. And he has a cambio business. And I find it, you know, it is such a shame that we have a business class that is not truly committed to building Jamaica. We need a new business class in Jamaica. We need people who are committed to helping the Jamaican people in a serious way. Our business people, they give donations to the political parties, and then the government sets the minimum wage so low, $50 a week. It is a form of enslavement, but this is a pact that the government and the business people make. They said to our government, liberalize the economy and watch Jamaica grow. And in 1977, when I was born, the Jamaican dollar was worth more than the US dollar. Today it takes 135 going on to 150 Jamaican dollars to buy $1 US. The business people have made a lot of money in the Jamaican economy. The bankers have made a lot of money in the Jamaican economy. And as long as the Jamaican government allows them to buy and sell foreign currency as they may, the Jamaican dollar will continue to lose value and life will get harder for the Jamaican people. When the Jamaican dollar is at a price where it takes, for example, $25 to buy $1 US as it did in the early 90s, they could not make as much money on the spread, on the difference between what they ask and what they sell it for. So at $25, let us say they would charge you a $2 spread. So they would sell you the dollar at 27 and they would give you 25 for the dollar. They make $2. But now that the dollar is trading between 135 and 140, what is happening now is that you will go into the bank and you will give them your US dollar and they will give you 130 for $1 US. But if you were to turn around and buy that US dollar, they are going to charge you 140, 145. The bankers are making very huge spreads. But look, the Jamaican government sets a minimum wage in Jamaican currency. They just gave an increase last month. And as the Jamaican dollar loses value, that $7,000 that they increased the minimum wage to from $6,200 is already losing value. By the end of the year, the $7,000 will not buy the same amount of food as $4,500 could buy. When the Jamaican dollar was 90 to 1, the minimum wage was $4,500, and that minimum wage chicken back was selling for $40 a pound. The minimum wage today is $7,000. Chicken back is selling for $80 a pound. You would need an additional 2,000 Jamaican dollars to buy the same amount of chicken back. When a businessman sets his prices in Jamaica, he sets it according to the US dollar. And every month you go into the supermarket, something has increased in price. The business people are allowed to set their prices. It is a free market, they say. So they are allowed to increase their